Today we're joined by Sheriff Mike Chitwood, the elected sheriff of Volusia County since 2017. With over 30 years in law enforcement, including leadership in both Philadelphia and Daytona Beach, Sheriff Chitwood is known for his transparency, energy, and dedication to community safety. He's earned national recognition, countless commendations, and the trust of this community. Today, we'll talk about public safety, protecting seniors, and how to stay one step ahead of fraud and scams. Sheriff, welcome to the show.
My honor to be here. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. So one of the things we hear a lot about recently is the grandparent scam. So what is it that these scammers are doing? How do they set it up? How does the scam unfold? And then what can people do to protect themselves?
First of all, I'll answer your last part of the question first. All the families should get together and have a code word. Okay, so something like this grandparent scam or something happens where, hey, your grandson's been involved in a car accident, do you want to speak with him? And then they'll put somebody on the phone that has a muffled voice, you really can't understand him, and they're like, oh, Grandma, I was hurt, I broke my jaw. Well, if you have that code word in there, whatever it may be, we'll just call it Holland Financial for today.
That's a good one.
So if she says Holland Financial, then you would know, okay, that's my grandson, because nobody knows that word, and that's something right. I would encourage the families do, because that's what happens with these things. Grandma panics. Okay, this is Sheriff Chitwood from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. Your grandson, and you say, "Oh my God, is Terry okay?" Now they know it's Terry. So the more you talk, the more information you give up, and then they'll have somebody in the background with a muffled voice, and they're in intensive care, or they can't speak to you. You know, you need $50,000 for bail. We're going to send a courier to your home. It's got to be in cash, or it's the Bitcoin one. Don't tell anybody. He doesn't want you to tell his father, and you don't do it. Next thing you know, you're out 50 grand and you're sitting here saying, maybe I should call my son. Hey, I'm just calling to check on Terry. Yeah, Terry's fine, Mom, why? He's fine, and now you're out 50 grand. They know where you live. They've already got you. So again, that's something where you have to drop back on that. That's basically what the call is. Something horrible has happened to your grandson or your granddaughter. And again, with our public records being open, they're going to have all that information when they make the call. That's why I think that code word is something really good. And the other thing is, Sheriff, hang up for a minute, because I'm not his legal guardian. I'm going to talk to my son or my daughter. And now, or I'm going to call my grandson directly. And now you've just broken their rhythm, but they don't want you to do that. They want to keep you on your heels.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot there. They've gotten very creative, and you spoke to really an excellent point I want to double, triple underline is so much information now is available. You know, with a few keystrokes on the computer, you can Google just about anything. And so a person can find out where you live, all this information, and they've got your number, and they start down this path of working and trying to keep you away. So don't answer calls you don't know, right? That's number one. And then independently verify whatever it is. Say, oh, it's Tommy's in trouble. Okay, well, let me call, again, not his legal guardian, and then make a call because that's not what they want. They want to keep you engaged. There has to be, I'm sure, some statistics, and you may or may not have the numbers readily available, but I would guess that the longer they have you on the phone, the higher the chance is, the probability that you're going to be a victim.
Amen. It's there. I can't give you a statistic, but I can tell you, because when we'll interview, how long were you on the phone with the guy? Well, I was on the phone for an hour. Right. They're really good at it. Right. In the very beginning, something's wrong with my grandson. Give me your number, Sheriff. I'll call you back. Right. That's not going to happen. Right. Because if you do that, then he's going directly to jail. Well, no, I'm going to do that. Send him to jail. Hang up, and then break that. Right. The scary thing is where AI is going to play into this. You
had mentioned the idea of having a code word. That code word is going to become even more vital when the voice sounds just like the grandson. Here, let you talk to him. The grandson, allegedly, right? The pretend grandson's going to get on the phone and have spot on voice.
Right. And how do you defend that? We post stuff on social media all the time. For me, how many media interviews you do? What do you do for a living? Right. It doesn't take AI a heck of a whole lot to do that and then turn that around and use it for you to be scammed.
Oh, he's right here. You want to see him? Hold on. There. Go on FaceTime. Let me show you your grandson. And then they got a video of him. Right. It's all coming. So I think the more we're prepared, the better. How about with lottery and sweepstakes? This is something that people that have a little more time on their hands or who maybe are looking for another way of having money. I don't want to say the word desperate, because a lot of people that have plenty of money play just for fun. Sure. But the scammers seem to be targeting that as well. What are some of the warning signs with regard to sweepstakes and lotteries that we can caution people on?
They want you to pay the taxes up front. That's the big one. Hey, you just hit $4 million. You're in the 33% tax bracket. Therefore, you pay this up front, and then we send you. But that's how this works. And by the way, you have to do it in Bitcoin. Or by the way, you have to go to an Apple store and buy $20,000 worth of Apple cards and read the numbers off of the back of it. I mean, nobody does transactions that way, and you need to understand that. And the same thing with that Bitcoin. No, we don't use Bitcoin to do anything like that. Right. None of us really do, right?
No, the sheriff's department doesn't. The IRS doesn't. So, I mean, it's funny how that has become such an angle here. How about tech support? With the technology advancing, if you're not 25, I mean, technology for the rest of us is, it's like we always feel like we're chasing it. So with technology getting more and more sophisticated, complicated, supposed to simplify our world, but more complicated nonetheless. How is that factoring into these scams?
The technology is so good there because they have so much information on you. We had an incident not too long ago where they hacked into a financial planner's databases. And he was based in Seminole, and he had clients all over the country. And the hacker was able to get in there and generate phone calls and letters to the client telling them that, hey, your tax bill's due, it's $500,000, make the check out to Oceanside Financial Company in California, and that'll pay your taxes for the calendar year of 2024. And the woman does it.
Wow.
And then the real financial advisor calls, hey, wait, no, your tax bill's in. And she's, what are you talking about? I got a letter from you and a phone call from Sally, your administrative assistant. And he's like, that's impossible. And then we discovered he was hacked. And based on that, it was like $5 million in clients.
Wow.
Real estate deals, taxes, transfers of stocks and bonds. So that's pretty sophisticated that you could hack into that person's computer and get all your personal information and go forward from there.
Well, back to the point about information being readily available. I mean, if you're a scammer, would you rather target people individually, or do you go to a company or an institution where you can get to a lot of them all at once? Why fish when you can throw a cast net?
Exactly. And we've had it here. I won't mention the city's name because I don't want to embarrass them, but they were hacked and almost sent $2.1 million to China out of their pension fund, because all of the correspondence came in, everything matched the same, but you had said something earlier, there was just one little tweak in the URL code, and that's what the clerk caught it. She was ready to hit send and caught it and said, wait a minute, and started making phone calls. And it was like, we didn't tell you to transfer funds into anything. So you talk about casting a wide net.
Yeah, and they only have to be right, one or two, one time for all of the effort, because the payoff can be so large, especially when you're targeting businesses and institutions. And I'm going to say also that they're going to target, as you used the example of a financial firm, it probably wasn't a really large one, although they certainly can be subject to fraud and scams. They have tremendous systems in place. It's the smaller companies that get targeted who still are a gateway for the scammer to get to a lot of potential victims.
Exactly. I mean, the sheriff's office, I think last month we were close to 7,000 attacks on our site. Why? I have 1,000 employees, social security numbers, dates of birth, medical information, all that's there. So our cybersecurity is really, really tough, because if you get us, you're going to take out everything.
Oh, of course.
Communications would go down. Computers would go down. So it's really important for us in law enforcement to do that. And then they hold you hostage.
Yeah, keep your systems solid,
Amen.
please.
Amen.
All right, Sheriff Chitwood, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us.